All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Phanatics First podcast. We are super excited to bring you all things Phillies. To start, my name is Madison. I'm helping Nick run the Phanatics Instagram as well as their new TikTok, so definitely give them both a follow. A little bit about me. I am a senior at Arcadia University. I'm about to graduate in May with my bachelor's degree in sport management, so that's really exciting. I am also a marketing assistant at a med spa in Bucks County, so I run their social media pages as well. I've been there for about 2 years, and I love working there. I'm also a twin. I'm not sure if I even shared that with the guys yet, but I have a twin brother, Matthew. He played baseball all his life. He was a catcher, which I'll get back. I'll get to that. So I've always, I think they know where I'm going with that, but I've always loved watching the Phillies with my brother. So that was, one of my fondest moments of watching the Phillies growing up, as well as watching my brother play baseball. My favorite player on the Phillies is definitely JT. Got, the catcher in JT, I've always learned to love. The guys know I have quite a little crush on him. They crack jokes left and right, even including my background that Zach sent me. It's beautiful. What else? Let's see. My favorite memory of the Phillies is probably last postseason. I went to a few of the games, which was really awesome. Just a really cool atmosphere to be around when they're winning with my family. And I also went to Xfinity Live a few times, which was really cool. Just a really fun atmosphere being around so many fans and people that are cheering them on too. So I'm very thankful to be tagging along this journey with the guys, and I'm really excited for what's in store.
My name's Nick. I'm 30 years old. I created the Phanatic almost 3 years ago, and I was able to get almost 9,000 people by myself. Madison got the rest. I have a passion for the Phillies, mostly because it's the one thing that I can always count on during baseball season to keep my mental health in check. The idea of making this podcast came about actually only in December, and then I finally decided to try to add on these wonderful people that we're currently staring at. And I am just super excited that we finally get to do this. My favorite memory as a Phillies fan is probably, I know it's a generic answer, Bryce's home run in the NLCS. But that's fine. Generic's fine. My favorite player growing up as a kid was Ryan Howard. I'm a big home run guy, so I enjoy a good home run, and that stems back all the way to being a little 5-year-old trying to hit a ball off a tee. So it all goes back to that, and yeah, that's basically me. Zach.
I'm Zach. I am 28. I have two little boys at home. I played baseball growing up, pretty much every position but pitcher. Phillies mean a lot to me. It's something that I've always followed. I always loved baseball. It was my first, love of sports. My favorite memory as a Phillies fan is probably my first ever game at Citizens Bank Park. It was back in '06, I believe it was the year when they played the Padres and Chase Utley hit a walk-off home run in bottom of the 11th. We were front row, and it was awesome. I was young and got to stay up late with my grandparents. So,
Andrew, go ahead.
I'm Andrew. I'm older than all three of them. I am a elementary school teacher. I'm a high school baseball coach. Love the Phillies my whole life. I'm going to copy off Nick and say being there for Bryce's home run against the Padres, and then not be able to see who was coming out of the pen in the ninth, and then seeing Ranger Suarez come out of the pen in the ninth was a pleasant surprise. So, big Phillies fan. Thankful for Nick for the opportunity to be here.
All right. So we can transition now. First thing we have on here is pitching staff. So where does the Phillies pitching staff rank amongst the rest of the league? Start with Andrew.
Yeah, I think it's second in the division. I think obviously the Braves have a better pitching staff. The Dodgers have a better pitching staff. But once you get through three, for me, the question is Taijuan Walker. He topped out at 90 his last appearance. Cristobal Sanchez obviously had some good innings for us last year, but when you get into a 7-game series, who's the guy you're giving the ball to after Suarez? So I'm wondering why Dombrowski has not gone after either one of the free agent pitchers that's still left.
What do you think, Zach?
I think it's probably top three in baseball. I'd say probably top two. I really think the Braves might have it by a little bit, but their age does kind of worry me. I mean, some of their guys are pretty old compared to the younger guy like Strider. I can't say the Dodgers would be in front of us just yet. 'Cause, I mean, we haven't seen Yamamoto pitch to a 5, 6, 7 inning game to actual MLB players, except for spring training. So I don't think they're ahead of us just yet, but I think we're top two. 1 through 3 is one of the best in baseball. I'd take that any day in any 5 or 7 game series. I mean, we've seen it work. So I think we're top two.
Madison, you're nodding your head. Do you agree with Zach?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I would say we're top two. I mean, I wouldn't even say top three. I'd definitely say if we're not one, we're two. I had mentioned to you guys a few weeks ago that I genuinely hate that when we go into the postseason, having to worry about whether who's going into game 4, game 5. It's kind of nerve wracking. Always having to worry about pitching and things like that. So I definitely think maybe looking into these free agents should be an option. I don't know why we haven't necessarily made a move or anything yet, but I could see it happening in the future.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think you add Montgomery or Snell, then you're the best rotation of baseball, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
I still don't have his top 3. I know everyone else is very
No, Nick, I don't have
complimentary.
I don't have his top 3 there.
Yeah, like around top
No?
5-ish.
With 4 and 5 being a complete
With
coin flip.
I don't.
The uncertainty behind those. I don't see how you can put it in the top 3 with
If
those 2 duds.
even I know you say Yamamoto, but they do have Glass now over there in Los Angeles, and he's a proven pitcher and knows what he's doing. Even the Mariners have a really good pitching staff over there in the AL. I don't trust Walker at all because I'm pretty sure I could throw a fastball faster than he can. What did I say earlier? Little leaguer, 13-year-old. So I'm pretty sure that I can't go into a season trusting that. I am not sure how I feel about Sanchez. He has his ups and his downs. I mean, I feel like as a 5, it's perfectly fine, but in this rotation, he's more like a 4, and in a playoff series environment, I don't feel safe with that. I touched on this a little while ago, but I much rather have Montgomery than Snell because he can give me the innings that I need that Snell can't. But once again, I'm not going to complain about getting a 2-time Cy Young Award winner on the team. That would just be foolish. You can't go into a series, let's say an LCS, and you're sitting there knowing that you have to pitch Sanchez or Walker and feel comfortable. At least that's how
exactly.
I look at it. I go into every series when I go, okay, so Nola's pitching this game, so we could win this one. Wheeler's pitching, we're probably going to win that one. Ranger, I always trust Ranger. He's my favorite pitcher on the team. But when it's just like I can't trust it, and hopefully a move gets made sometime within the next couple weeks before the season starts, because otherwise, at least in a 7-game series, we are in trouble. So
yeah, and there's a bunch of pitchers that have been going down too early in spring training, so I'm sure phones have been ringing.
Scott Boras is ready.
Yeah,
He's so ready.
Yeah,
but that's not helping us if other pitchers on other teams are getting hurt, because that means they're going to end up there.
Yeah, it's going to be brought up over and over again tonight. I know from all of us, but they have a window that is closing soon. When your best pitcher is over 30 and your best player is over 30, JT is over 30, and you have this kind of pitching staff, you could the fear is that the Bryce Harper era doesn't end with the World Series, or you don't get one. So closing the gap between the Dodgers and the Braves, and pick your AL team is important.
Right, and any of the free agent pitchers immediately help that gap. You're looking at it and you go, okay, well, I feel much better if Snell is going in game 3 and then Ranger takes game 4 or something like that. So I feel more comfortable. I mean, the bullpen is a little bit of a concern for me still, but I mean, that's a whole nother topic we can get into. I don't know who's closing for this team. I know it's a committee of some sort. I don't know how I feel about that, but what do you think, Zach?
I mean, if it's Alvarado every night, I'm fine with it. But other than that, it's kind of hard to really say one of those guys that we have in the bullpen is the for sure closer. Kirkring's too young to kind of throw to be the full time closer for the full season. But I mean, he can definitely step in. I think situationally, if Alvarado's not available or something. But I think that's something that might get addressed more towards the trade deadline if it's really that much of an issue. The closer by committee it's worked pretty well for us the past couple of years. So I don't foresee it changing unless we can't close a game throughout the first half of the season.
Well, MLB The Show doesn't agree with you about Alvarado. They have him ranked at 76 overall.
Yeah. They also have Rodolfo Castro in front of Bryson Stott at 72 overall.
That's a whole other topic.
That's laughable.
All right, Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I think more than saves, I loved how they used Alvarado last year. It's either how are you attacking their best hitters, whether it's at the 8th or the 9th, and you need to get out their best hitters, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, you need Alvarado for that. So that's fine to be saved from that. The problem becomes Soto and Dominguez. They can either be really, really good, both have plus stuff, but none of them throw strikes pretty consistently, and none of them can locate their fastballs. So that's what scares me. It's bridging a gap to Alvarado. And then Kirkring, young, single-A guy last year, brought him up, had some success, had some failures, put him in some big spots, but they're depending on a lot on a 21-year-old who has only faced major league hitters for 3 months. So the bullpen's a huge concern, and I know we'll get to this in a minute, but why they're not trading for Class A and giving up Crawford is I can't put my finger on it. Guy has 66 saves in the past 2 seasons, and while Crawford has a good lineage, Dad was a really good baseball player, he is still a single-A prospect, and that's all he is right now. You can talk about the tools, you can talk about the ceiling, or whatever baseball terminology you want to use. He is still a prospect. So I am floored by that.
Before I transition to Madison real quick, Sir Anthony Dominguez has an 82 overall over Jose Alvarado in MLB Show. All right. What do you think about the situation, Madison?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little crazy. No, I mean, like I've said before, I hate that we start off strong and it's always nail biting towards the end, regardless of who's pitching. In my opinion, I get nervous. I do love Dominguez. I do love, I'm all for Ranger. It just, I don't know what the answer is either, though. Like, do we do something similar to what Andrew was mentioning? Do you guys agree with that? Or what is there another option?
I think the other option is the next topic, which Andrew touched on, which is Class A. So, I mean, I look at Crawford as a prospect as well, and it's not a guarantee that he's going to be as good as his dad. I know the name is there, and people see it, and they go, he's just like his dad, but he's not. There's a chance he's not going to be, and we need to win now. We talked about the window. I don't know exactly what that window can be. Bryce can get hurt again and can completely drastically become a different player in the next 2 years. And then you're sitting there going, we missed our window and we could have won. So, I mean, what do you think, Zach?
I mean, he's a really interesting prospect because he does have a lot of, upside to him. But at the same time, I mean, we're pretty deep in the outfield. I mean, especially if we keep, Pache and send Rojas down or something like that. We have a bunch of other people, that are patrolling the outfield in our minor league system too that you might not really need him right now, and you might be able to gain a lot more by really going after a guy like Clase with him as some trade bait. So I wouldn't be against it. Before I kind of was, because I was looking at the bigger picture, but at the same time, the window is closing, so it's probably time that you might try and offload some of your top prospects.
Andrew?
Yeah, if you go down the roster, Schwarber over 30, Harper over 30, Real Muto over 30, Wheeler over 30, Walker over 30. So Aaron Nola over 30. So the window is closing, and again, Crawford's not going to help you for 3 years. I still understand how you can go through the Bryce Harper era and go through the JT Real Muto era and not win a World Series. And right now, you have no one besides Alvarado that you can trust to go close out a game for you. So let's stop with all this minor league prospect. Got to keep the farm right. Got to keep good players in the pipeline. No, you don't. You need to win a World Series. This is your
There's
time.
a draft every year, and top prospects coming in every time.
And every time you pick a first-round pick, they're going to be in your top 10 prospects regardless.
Yeah, and it's either boom or bust. So
right, and any baseball fan, no one can name the Texas Rangers where they ranked out of the minor league baseball teams last year because no one cares because they won the World Series.
Yeah, they only know two names: Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter.
No one's keeping track of the Houston Astros minor league system because they've been to the ALCS 7 straight years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Justin Crawford hit 332 last year, but that's in single A. And for anybody who wants to make that a big deal, I feel like you're over exaggerating a little bit. I think you just make the trade, help the team now, before there is a party on Broad Street and everyone's happy.
Yeah. If that's what the result is, I'm fine with whatever they do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Does anyone else have anything to say on that, or do you want to transition to the next thing?
I'm good.
Yeah, I agree with the guys. Definitely have to consider the future. Consider, like Andrew said, their ages. The goal is to win. So anything it takes to get to there, I'm for.
Winning is the most important thing. All right, so let's get into the lineup. We're gonna go right to Andrew with the first question on Schwarber leading, and take it away, Andrew.
Yeah, this is something Philadelphia media and fans need to get off of. The Phillies are 63 and 45 when Schwarber leads off. If that was played out into a 161 game season, they would average 95 wins. So there's no reason why Schwarber shouldn't be the leadoff. And if there was, in baseball today, there would be a stat that proved that Schwarber shouldn't be the leadoff and someone else should. There is no stat. There is no lineup metric that says Schwarber shouldn't be the leadoff. Okay, he is different. He's not your grandfather's leadoff hitter, and that is okay. Right? He walked 111 times last year. He hit 45 bombs. Over the last 2 years, there's only one person that has more home runs, and that's Aaron Judge.
I wonder if people would actually argue back in the day if Babe Ruth should not have let off. You know what I mean? He struck out a lot, but I think the people came to see him hit bombs, and that's what Schwarber does. And I don't care if it's first or last.
He's such a unique person in the top because if you groove a fastball first pitch, he can take a yard.
Yeah.
He's also really good at seeing pitches too. So I've never seen, and I get the argument all the time. I've never seen him bog down the base paths. I've never seen Trey Turner on his heels, right, or not being able to score because Schwarber's on the base paths.
Yeah.
Right. So if someone can bring me a stat or give some evidence that if Trey Turner let off, or Marsh let off, or Stott let off, that they would win more, that the game differential and wins would be over 10, I'm all ears. But there is no stat because it doesn't matter. They're 18 games over 500 when he leads off. Yeah. Let's get over it.
They did try it and it didn't work. They went right back to the Schwarber leading off last year. So.
Yeah, every time they've tried it, it seems to be a struggle. Schwarber doesn't hit either. I don't know why. I think he just feels more comfortable in that spot. So I think you stick with it, and you just
The funny part is he leads off
go ahead.
once a game, but I mean he could lead off in the third inning even if he bats sixth. You know what I mean? Just the way the lineup rolls, he leads off in the first inning once a game. So if you want him to lead off, he can honestly lead off maybe once or twice a game in different innings.
Yeah.
And I mean, I you look forward to turning the game on exactly at 7:05 to make sure that you don't miss a home run. So
Yeah.
I mean, you make sure it's on right away because you want to see if he's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So I'm okay with it. Um, I like winning as well. So if it's going to keep resulting in winning, I'm going to keep being okay with it. So that's
Yeah.
really Madison. What do you think?
I mean, even just looking at last year's stats, I think he did a great job leading off. Home runs left and right. We'll take a walk every now and then. That's fine with me. I don't really understand why it's in question to even consider moving him. I'm for him leading off. I don't think anybody else would do a better job. And yeah, I'm good with a Schwarber lead off. So
And I will completely back down from my stance if someone can give me statistical data that proves that he shouldn't lead off and that it leads to more wins with person A, B, or C leading off instead of him.
With all the strikeouts, you can't really justify him batting anywhere else because of all the outs he produces. And if there's guys left on base, he's not as productive.
Yeah.
Even when he's batting first and there's a seventh or eighth guy, a Marsh or a JT on base, and he hits a single, that could be a run.
I agree. The next topic is one that I feel like Andrew is going to try to get me heated about. That's okay. So is Rojas playing his way out of the starting lineup? We'll start with Zach.
I mean, it kind of looks like it. As good as his glove is, I mean, we need to see the guy hit. And from what we've seen, Pache's kind of been the guy that's been peppering the ball around the field. So I think right now it's kind of at maybe a standstill, and someone needs to pull away. But I think right now he's definitely playing his way out of the lineup.
Andrew?
Yeah, it all depends on Brandon Marsh, honestly, and how healthy he is. Because you can play Pache and March in left or right, left or center, and keep Casti at right. But I think it all depends on Marsh. I think at Rojas at best right now is a defensive replacement because he was an automatic out in the Diamondback series. I think he's a above average defender. We saw that against Acuna in the Braves series where he made the huge catch. But at the same time, we're not paying him to bunt in the 9-hole and try to get on base. Paying him to hit the ball. And he does that at a very poor level. So I think it all depends on where Marsh is, and that if Marsh is healthy, he plays left and Pache plays center.
Well, Marsh did actually get some playing time just recently, and I think the reports are all good. He should be coming back soon, which is what we need, at least to be able to figure out what we're doing. I don't think Rojas can hit the ball off the tee. I don't want anything to do with him. I want him off the team. I would trade him for a slightly broken washing machine. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't care if he can field. I want somebody who can hit out there. I like Pache better, and he's really not that much better either, but I prefer him. If I really had to, I'd probably have Marsh in center and Merrifield in left. If I was running the team, which I don't. But that's what I would do. I think the organization, my eyes are much better off without Rojas playing baseball. That's what I think.
The only thing I would worry about, Nick, is I think Topper wants him to have the job. I think, especially at the beginning of the offseason, he was very much a fan of Rojas, and obviously made it clear he needs to improve offensively. But I think he wants him to have the job, so that's the only thing you got to worry about.
Yeah, and as much as we talk about it, we don't know. I mean, he still could very well be the guy that has the job, and it's not even a question to Topper. So
then you get to hear me complain for 162 games.
Well, then
about
it's really sad because isn't Pache out of options? We'd have to let him go basically, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I still would start Merrifield out there. Would have been left. But, Madison, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good option in the field, like we were talking about Marsh. Marsh just coming off injury has me a little nervous. Not gonna lie. I do like that he's been playing and all is well, but he's still injury prone. I think he's an option for the field, but like we all said, he's not showing up. At bat. I think there might be better options for someone that could at least show up offensively rather than just one way. I'm not a complete hater like Nick, but I don't think he's necessarily proved his worth at the plate.
All right. Well, I think he's garbage. Anyway, so transition to people that actually know how to hit the ball. Zach, what Philly do you think will have the biggest impact this year?
I'm going to go with someone who doesn't hit the ball. I'm going to go with the guy who just got the Cy Young looking contract in Zach Wheeler.
Okay.
I think he is out to prove someone wrong, especially after the kind of not so great season in his eyes last year. I mean, he had a higher ERA compared to what he's had here in the past couple years in his Philly career. But I really think he's going to have like a right around a 2.70 ERA, 200 strikeouts, 200 inning kind of year, and just really kind of pull away from the Cy Young conversation. Maybe 18, 20 wins. I really think he's going to have a big year. So that's my take.
It's hard to disagree with that. Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Trey Turner do you get? Coming off the year last year where career low in batting average, career high in strikeouts. What Trey Turner do you get? That's the biggest thing. If he is at an all-star level, our Phillies offense is going to be really tough to handle. But if he's hitting 266 again and struggling for 3/4 of the year, there's going to be some turmoil, and I really hope Philadelphia fans do not treat him with a cheer. Let's get back to booing him because we expect him to play well. He signed for a lot of money. He can get booed and be okay, but he needs to be back to the all-star level that he was with the Dodgers and the Nationals.
So I have Trey down as well. I have it down for if the real Trey Turner shows up, this lineup is really, really good. He's even in the field as well. That was not the defense that Trey Turner plays. It just wasn't Trey Turner. And I have it down, if the real Trey Turner shows up, he's in the MVP discussion. That's what I have. That's what I believe. He's way too good to play the way he did. He's one of the best players in the league when he's playing at his full potential. And it's just what you paid for, so that's what you should have. So, Madison.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Stott, to be honest with you. I love watching Stott play. I think not only is he a fantastic second baseman, but he shows up at the plate. Last season, he had, I just had the stat up. I lost it that fast. He had 164 hits last season, and I think this year he's just going to top it. He's been incredible at second, and I just think he's going to have a great season.
I enjoy Stott. There's a nice little mustache thing going.
I love Stott. Yeah, I love him. He just
like-
had a
I think
baby
he
too.
might be the.
You like
I
Stott
think he might be the one guy.
Do you like Stott more than like the Cowboys?
Ooh.
Oh, here we go. I was hoping it wasn't going to come up.
So it doesn't matter about the Cowboys because the Eagles are playing Madden. So right now the Cowboys are not going to even be close to winning the division. So we'll just transition to the next thing.
Andrew had to bring it up.
I
was waiting.
It was inevitable.
We had a good flow going. Andrew. We had a good flow.
Still do.
So will the Phillies win the division? Zach?
I think, honestly, I think we have a good shot. I don't think we will. I think we're going to be somewhere like 93 to 95 wins this year, but I don't think the Braves are going to be as far off as they were last season. I don't think they're going to get to 100 wins again this year. I mean, they've done it, the past 2 years, I believe. So that'd be hard to do for a third year. I sense a drop off, and it's going to be a more competitive race. But I don't think we can get them this particular year unless we add another pitcher.
Andrew?
No, the Braves are going to win the division, and that's okay. We've become accustomed to it. They can have all the NL East championships they want. I'm fine with beating them in the playoffs, and I don't think anybody on that Philadelphia Phillies roster is afraid of playing them in the playoffs. So go win the division, Braves.
So, funny thing, sometime last October on the Phanatics page, a Braves fan was doing some trolling, and they were acting like winning the division was more important than winning the playoff series. And I think they were in this huge heated argument about how we still won more games than you, so we're better than you, but you didn't win in the playoffs, so you're not better than us. And that's how I look at it. They're built to win the division, at least for the next probably few seasons. They're a really good team, as much as we want to act like they're not sometimes, but they are. And I don't think we're going to win the division. I think we're probably going to win 92 games, win the wild card, and see what happens from there.
Perfect.
That's what I think. Madison?
I mean, I'm always going to stick positive. I'm going to say, I'm going to go against all of you. I'm going to say, I think they will. There's always got to be one to go against. So, I don't know. I'm confident in this team this year, this season. I think if everybody stays healthy, I think there's a chance. It's going to be close. Don't get me wrong, but I think it'll be close.
Okay. So the next question, basically, we were all supposed to answer more if they would win the division, but none of us really did except Madison. So we could talk about the wild card success and how it doesn't even really matter that the team wins the division or not. Andrew?
Yeah, I love being in the wild card. I think playing right away, right after the season, helps tremendously, especially if you're playing good baseball. But the bottom line, you got to be built different to win in the playoffs. You look at the two division winners that went down early on, the Dodgers and the Braves, both lost without making the NLCS. So you can have the best winner go season ever, but you got to win in the playoffs. And the Phillies team built to win in the playoffs.
Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it necessarily matters too much because of the past success we've had. I mean, the team in general is built for the postseason. I mean, would it be nice to have an extra game or two at Citizens Bank Park for the playoff run through the NL? I'm sure it would, but at the same time, we've proven that it doesn't really matter where we play. We just show up and hit the ball far. So I don't really think it matters. We've had too much success, and the guys are just seasoned for it.
My worry would be momentum if they did win the division. Would they slow down just like everyone else does? The history shows that most teams do. This team is one that's really, really streaky, and I think a couple days off would be really bad. So I think getting the wild card just makes more sense, and I don't want to go into a series saying, "Yay, we won the division," but then Cassidy can't hit a ball, and we're sitting there just in the same situation we were at the end of the NLCS. So, I mean, I think this team is built to play in the wild card series. The lineup from top to bottom is just playoff ready. Yeah, in this case, they would have to probably play the Dodgers and the Braves and that doesn't seem like a fun challenge, but sure as hell it'd be a lot of fun if we win those games. So, that's what I'm going with. Madison, why don't you wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm good with kind of keeping the momentum going. No off days. That scares me a little bit. If we're on a roll, we might as well keep it going. Let's get that wild card spot.
Okay, all right. I think that about wraps it up. So do you want to get us out of here, Madison?
Yeah, I want to just thank everybody for watching and listening. I want to make sure everybody follows our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well. We will be doing another podcast very shortly. Nick, when does the next one come out?
Give me a second. What day did I say?
Yeah. So I
Like
just
the
wanted to
27th.
double check.
Um,
Or before that.
not
The
the
24th, right?
24th, right? Is that a Saturday? Is that a Sunday?
24th. Yes,
We'll go.
24th.
We'll go with that. So yeah, the 24th.
So
Caught
next
me
one
off
comes
guard.
out 24th. Sorry. Next one comes out 24th, so make sure to give it a listen. And like I said, make sure to follow us on all our social media pages. And check out our merch as well.
And after the 24th, we have no clue when we're going to record again because Easter shows up. We'll have to have a nice little update on that after the second podcast. Hopefully, we'll know more if someone actually gives me an answer, which apparently is really hard for these people to do. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I'm super excited about this. So, all right.
Cool.
Zach, do you have anything to say?
The only other thing I had to add was Nicole Hamill's jersey retirement being on Apple TV this year.
Oh, yeah.
That's a shame. That's a shame. You don't have
Just,
Apple TV, you can't even watch it.
just get a subscription. Stop whining. Andrew?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks everybody for watching.
All right. Have a good one, guys.